the schedule. Welcome to Out of the Draft podcast, season 4, episode 28. I accidentally hit start when I was in mid sentence, so I'm sorry about that. I'm Dylan.
I'm Shake. Yeah, we got a packed house here
Yeah,
tonight,
it's
man.
it's a packed house. Well, we do have one more coming. Cody will be joining us in a few minutes, but everybody else is either asleep, didn't answer me, or um, they're doing something. I know DCD didn't feel well. Um, but anyways, how was your week?
Oh, we took the splint off. We're doing a little bit
Oh,
better.
hey,
Sort of push on, but we're doing a little bit better. This weekend I had the house to myself, so kind of sprawled out and got to watch
well,
some NASCAR.
I'm surprised that Chase didn't win.
I thought that, but I think there was a new curse. Sierra went back home and it had rained the whole week. She left, it stopped raining. She came back, it rained today. So.
Yeah,
Something's going on. She passed it on from Chase. So I guess we can keep her around for now.
that's
Just
good.
waiting for her to walk through the door and kill me.
When it rains, it pours, though. Like actually. Well, we did have some racing. We'll go ahead and start off with the Cup race. It kind of we were kind of worried of what we were gonna see. I thought that with this new horsepower downforce package that they brought, it was gonna help a lot. But then they decided to bring a very hard tire instead of the tire that the drivers asked for. So that just kind of shows up. Start off the weekend, kind of understanding where we're at. Stage 1 was pretty green. You had Ryan Blaney lead the whole thing. He did catch the back of the field, which there was a lot of big guys back there. You had Busher, Chase Elliott, uh, Priest.
Breeze, yeah.
Who else was back there? Oh, Brad. And then Hamlin started in the rear, but he kind of worked his way up to like 19th at that point by the end of the stage. I could be wrong on where he finished, but that's kind of where it ended. So Ryan Blaney got the stage 1. The
To add
Toyotas,
on,
yeah.
you said pretty green, but what was it? Lap 4?
Oh yeah,
Huge,
yeah,
huge implications.
yeah, huge regular season implications to seed for the chase. Tyler Reddick just goes into turn 1, gets really loose. I will say I do kind of want to talk about this wreck a little bit because if you notice, like Ross Chastain wasn't gonna make the corner either. If you notice in the replay, he kind of goes up the racetrack before he starts to spin. So I don't know if Ross is going to get into the back of him if he tries to like save it. But if not, I think Reddick was going to wreck no matter what. But just based off of his in car, it was really funny to kind of watch and just whatnot. But he kind of took out Eric Jones, who had a great weekend going top 10 in practice, qualified top 10. Another guy we'll highlight him in a second. I'm sure that we got him. Either me or Shake here has him in ours. But yeah, stage 1, that was the only incident, and then Ryan Blaney got that. Stage 2 was a longer, so obviously stage 1 shorter. Stage 2 and 3 are similar. So there's going to be at least a pit stop or whatnot. There was like a caution with like 20 to 25 laps into the stage. And so there was only one driver that stayed out, actually, and that was Chase. He just got the free pass because he did get lapped before the end of the stage. And then and he stayed out, and he was just trying to make it on fuel / some type of strategy to gain track position. Well, it worked a little because, like 30 laps later, they did have a caution. And, well, on the stop, the 9 team did not have a good stop. The tire didn't go all the way on before the jack went off. So they went way to the back, and then the Toyotas stayed out. So you had Christopher Bell, Hamlin, and Briscoe stay out at this caution, and they end up kind of doing the stage so far well. But at the end of the stage, you saw the 19 and 11 drop. That's where they finished 5th and 6th, but Christopher Bell ended up winning the stage. And then that's kind of where this is also that. Was that also when Ryan Blaney had a lot of issues? at that point because he was the leader. And then I think with him stopping, they had a lot of issues. Then he went up the racetrack on the restart.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I think that was the pit stop that he had his issues, and then, or yeah, they had his issues. Then he went up the racetrack, saved it. Which I'll say this: I mean, Blaney he was a top
yeah,
three car all
yeah,
weekend. But we saw that a lot out of Blaney. I felt like
yeah,
his car was extremely loose, but I feel like it kind of needed to be for the long run.
yeah,
Um, and you saw him. I mean, even in practice, if you watch any of that, you saw him struggle a couple times, and he was able to gather it in practice, which he's not really pushing at that point. He's just saving it and kind of regrouping. But yeah, that 12 car fast but out of control.
yeah. Well, they even said like on the broadcast, like how Jonathan Hassler, they asked him like why is he so good at like making setups and why is Ryan so good here? He said because you gotta just make it so loose. And I was like, I was like, yeah, he overdid it. Another guy who, well, I don't know if we'll touch on him. I don't know if any of us have it, but Bubba Wallace, his car was super loose. But in my opinion, he had one of the best cars, especially on the short run. He was able to pass like no other. And if you have him, I won't glaze him too much until you get there. Um, but my wife did comment and said, "Oh, the Chase Glazing podcast." So this is gonna be good. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, that's how the race ended. Where like Bell was up front. You kind of had a mixture of the Toyotas. Ty Gibbs was finally moving back up for the front from a speeding penalty. Is that what it was, or was
Just a bad pit stop.
bad pit stop? Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know exactly what happened. I don't know if it was a loose tire or what, but
yeah.
it was just a really bad pit stop. Bubba is the one that got the speeding penalty.
That's yeah. Okay, gotcha. That makes more sense. Um, well, that just kind of set up for the third stage. They finally Christopher Bell had the lead. Ryan Blaney, uh, Barry, Chase Elliott did make a strategy call where he stayed out, and so he was able to be on older tires. But it was so old at that point when there was a caution that came out. It kind of just faded him, right? Like it didn't really. He was able to be in the top 10, which that's where he ended up staying, was 10th before he stopped. Um, it just he there was nothing that he could have done with being back there, which we'll talk about. I have a point on why it was so bad to pass in the back versus the front. Um, but Tyler Allen made a great two-tire pit stop on Gibbs. Christopher Bell tried everything. They were the best cars at the end of the race. But Christopher Bell finishes second. Ty Gibbs gets his second career win, and then also second at a short track. So I guess we'll give a rating real quick. I thought the race was actually pretty good. I know it was hard to pass, but it's always hard to pass with a short track. It doesn't matter what vehicle, what car you have. But I thought it was pretty entertaining from my seat. But also, I may have a little bit of. I haven't watched a full race in a while, so maybe my rating's a little higher. I give it a 6.8, in between the meme numbers.
Yeah, honestly, I agree with you on the fact that it was hard to pass, but I mean, we kind of talked about it during the race yesterday. I thought that was the first time, and I don't know how long that you could really just watch and see the drivers have their hands full every lap. I mean, they were driving those cars, and I mean, even the guys like we talked about, like Ryan Blaney, one of the fastest dudes. I mean, he struggled at times with handling on his race car, and I love that. And I'm gonna rate it actually a 7, for the simple fact that I think there's so much potential with Iowa. I really do. I think with the better tire and this repave coming, if they get a little bit more progressive banking, we might see drivers next year all over the track. So I'm gonna give it a 7. I actually really enjoyed the race. Um, Kind of difficult as a Chase fan to be too excited about it, but it was kind of fun to see him be on the alternate strategy, and just try something different. So that kind of did make it fun because I didn't know how it was going to play out. So yeah, I'll go with the 7.
Yeah, it's good. Average of a 6.9. Nice.
Nice.
Uh, well, talking about 6'9", Ty Gibbs, that's how many points you scored. That's pretty cool. I noticed that like at the end of the race when they showed like who scored what points, and I was like, that's so weird. But we can go ahead and highlight two drivers. Two drivers I want to personally highlight. Um, is for one is Austin Dillon. I think you know, this was a Richmond type race. It was built because of Richmond. That's why Rusty Wallace, when he imagined this, that was his vision for it, just a bigger Richmond. And I think, with the way you save tire, the way you run the line, it just makes sense. But he did a really great job. And then the second person is a guy that we've been kind of pooping on all year, the 88. Connor Zillich qualified top 10. He did a really good job all race. I thought he was going to lose a lot of track position, but he made sure that he like kept his car straight at all times. He didn't put himself in a bad position, so really good job for actually completing more than one lap this week. So congrats to the 88 team. How about you?
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, the guy I got to highlight first, and I feel like he's not getting enough credit for what he did this weekend, was Josh Berry. Fourth place finish for Josh Berry, has had a ton of struggles this season. And it was kind of talked about on the broadcast how he doesn't know what next season holds for him. He's been in the situation before. So to kind of go into this race, knowing that you're kind of driving for your career and put on that performance, it shows me a lot as a fan that, I mean, like when it gets tough and the pressure's on, he didn't crumble. So I mean, a huge run from him. And then Ross Chastain, seventh place finish during the pit cycle, was leading some laps, was running up front. I didn't necessarily agree with the pit strategy, but I understood what they were doing. I think head to head, they didn't think they could beat the 54, the 20, or the 12. So they were kind of just hoping and banking for a caution. If that was the case, I think the one car would have won this race. But come out P7 and kind of put yourself back into the chase hunt right there near the cutoff line. A huge day for Ross Chastain.
His crew chief even said that they're not even going to make the chase. Like that, they said it before the race. Like that's not their goal anymore. Their goal is just to win races. And I was like, I feel like you have a shot. But now after the points day that he had throughout the day, like I think they actually have a shot now. Um,
And Cindric and SVG having bad days.
yeah, it was a good day for the one car. Um,
Huge.
and another bad day. Sorry to the Eric Jones fan that just welcome in, but like he was on the bubble as well, and so like that kind of moved a lot of those points in favor of the one car. So really good eye there. Cody, do you have anybody you want to highlight? I know you just came in, but
I want to highlight how much Tyler Reddick sucks at driving a race car. That's all I got to highlight. Thank you.
Well, I will say this is so it happened right, and my wife is sitting next to me, and I literally just smiled, right, and she goes, "Can you look a little disgusted that someone just wrecked?" And I was like, "I'm sorry,
He's moving.
I was like, I was, I've never done that, like I've never reacted like just a smile, but." Oh yeah, she also just commented Tyler Reddick's fall off needs to be studied. I agree. But anyways, we can move on to the O'Reilly race. I know I didn't personally watch it. I mean, I was watching it while I was working. So I don't hear any of the strategy or anything like that. I just kind of glanced at it here and there. Yeah, I mean, the one car was the best. I mean, not the one. The seven car was the best, right? That's what I meant to say. Sorry, I kind of butchered that. But that was kind of really the case, right? Like, I mean, it wasn't.
I mean, it was him and Ryan Sieg pretty much.
Yeah, Sieg. Yeah, Sieg had a great first stage, didn't he? Yeah, he won. Congratulations! I mean, their first pole and like 400 starts. Like that. What a great start to your weekend. Um, I don't really have much. I mean, I didn't get to watch the race fully, so I don't want to rate it. I thought it was a really decent race from my perspective when I glanced at it. It was just a little too caution fest at the end. So I think that kind of, I think it was a little bit less than the cup race. I give it a 6.
Yeah, honestly, stage three kind of ruined this race for me. Um, just you could see the youth and inexperience with the drivers. lots of cautions, and in my opinion, it really messed the race up because it was just people basically banking on pitting at the right time so they would have enough fuel. And then you didn't really see a green flag run go far enough to where the tires were able to really catch. And then, I mean, there was a caution late. They kind of got Allgaier back into contention. Um, but I think restarting second row outside, he didn't really have a chance to win. Um, but yeah, just the inexperience and honestly, Patrick Staropoli, he's a freaking terrorist. I feel like the last couple weeks, every single race, he's causing an incident. Um, but I'm gonna give it like a 5. I thought stage one was actually kind of entertaining when they were running green flag laps, and then it just kind of went to shit.
Do you watch it? I didn't, yeah, I didn't think you did. Uh, well,
I think you know why.
oh yeah, you were asleep, weren't you? Yeah,
I was definitely not in a looking into a racing mood
yeah,
after staying up all night. So
yeah. I guess we can highlight a few guys. I just talked about Ryan Sieg. I really really like where that team is. I wish that they can put together a full race though. I know that when they got caught up in the accident with the seven, it wasn't his fault, but um, it just stinks because I feel like if he would have finished top five, we would have been really talking about him a lot. And then my next guy, um, I'll honestly the Sandpot Racing. Like I mean, both of them top 10. I'll just give them their praise. Dean Thompson also announced that he's going to SHR. So that's or SHR, Haas Racing.
he's
Sorry.
already at SHR, dude.
Yeah, sorry. So congratulations to him. Really weird thought stuff that happened on Saturday about that. I thought it was going to be something else that I heard, so it wasn't true. Um, but yeah, that's who I got.
Uh, the first one I got, I'm gonna go with Raja. Huge second place finish for him. Decent points day. Didn't really capitalize on stage points. I think he only got one. Um, but I mean, still 36 points. You come out of there sitting 15 points below the cut line. So you know, being in the 88 the rest of the season, there's not many races left for O'Reilly, but you still have Daytona looming, so anything's possible. But put himself in a spot where uh, he can potentially get into the chase. And the second one, you know where I'm going, but it's not. It's honestly not like a huge glaze thing. It's more of a. I'm kind of shocked. I'm gonna go with Parker Retzlaff. Did not have a great day by any means. That car did not look good. He didn't look good. Came out of there 13th. Sorry, Damon. Um, but for me, it was just, like I feel like Viking Motorsport's a team that obviously you're not looking at thinking, all right, they're going to win this week. But to come out of there with a 13th place finish with as bad as that car was and kind of just minimize the damage, to the chase cut line and potentially be able to lock yourself into a playoff spot with the next race coming up for them, which is in like 3 weeks, I believe. Um, I think that's a really big thing and shows a lot of maturity from a young driver like Parker that he didn't over push the car and didn't do too much, just kind of took what he could get and was able to capitalize on others' misfortune.
I can't highlight guys. I will do that. Um, I'll say my first guy is definitely Nick Sanchez with the P6. Um, obviously don't have much on him because he didn't race or I didn't watch the race, so um, I just know where they finished. And then I got Carson Brown at the top 15. For that was his debut, correct?
Yeah, either first or second start, but that was the first time I actually saw him in a O'Reilly car, so I believe
Yeah,
so.
yeah, good for him.
Yeah. Hey, that I want to know how he did. I know it's
He ran
Jordan's
around 15th most of the
really.
day.
That's pretty good for that car, and him only having minimal
I'd say like
starts.
the 15th to 20th range,
Yeah,
somewhere like in there for most of the day.
yeah,
But one thing I want to highlight on before we do move on from the O'Reilly race,
yeah,
Brent Cruz. I know you're extremely young. Is this his first time at Iowa, I'm assuming? I don't think he ever
yeah,
raced
yeah.
in
I
any other
believe so.
series there. Just way in over his head on a late restart and took out some really good cars. And hurt himself in the points. I mean,
Yeah.
when you're where you're at, and I think a lot of this is on the team too. Like the team needs to talk to him to talk him through this, and be like, hey man, like let's get what we can get, but let's not do anything stupid. You need a good points day. Um, and he really didn't do that. Came out of there 16th, probably should have finished fourth or fifth. Um, yeah, but just got in over his head. I think that was a young mistake. And Allgaier talked to him after the race, and you could see Allgaier wasn't necessarily like mad, but he was kind of like, like that uncle that was just like, dude, like, come on, man, like you know better, like you're better than that. And you could see that Brent Cruz, like on his face, like you could just see that he's like, yeah, like I messed up. So hopefully he grows from that. I think he's extremely talented and probably going to be a face of NASCAR in the coming years. So just gonna have some growing pains, which he definitely did.
I'm so glad you said that because this opens up this thing that where I can say what I seen on Twitter the other day. Let me go find it. Let me go find the exact message real quick.
All right. While you do that, I'm gonna bring up the points. Um, I know you kind of highlighted them just a minute ago, but um, these are all people not locked in. So, by the way, it definitely says cup up there, and I'm sorry that it does that.
Oops.
Yeah, I don't know why.
All right. So
Oh no. There we go.
you good?
Yeah. Trying to
Okay.
find
So
where we can put you guys.
the tweet says, "What does Joe Gibbs see in Brent Cruz that makes him the clear replacement for Denny Hamlin? He hasn't done much in a rally this year to even be a candidate for the 11, let alone be the favorite." And then he goes on to say Chris Buescher, Zane Smith, and Lane Riggs. And then he says Cade and Honeycutt are much better options in my opinion. And I responded to that and I said, Cade and Honeycutt, this deserves to be banned as a NASCAR fan.
It's not what you told me the other night. You sounded like a sheep when you read it.
I didn't want to do that on here, dude. Bah.
He said, "Kate Honeycutt, bye."
But I literally I used the B to start off the laugh.
All right. Well, here's the truck points. I know that they didn't race, but here's what this looks like. So the top 5 is locked in. 6th through 10th is still has a possibility to come out. But Tyler Ankrum minus 8. Jake Garcia, I don't know how he's even up here. Minus 32. Yeah, Andres Perez minus 42. Brendan Queen minus 43. I don't think.
As long as
I think this stays the same. Actually, uh, any other hot takes on that?
I just hope Ankrum doesn't make it.
Yeah.
I think
All right.
Jake Garcia has potential to have a big race this weekend
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
make things interesting, but I'm not willing to like put anything on it. I'm not that confident in him.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Here is the O'Reilly points. That actually says O'Reilly. That's the top. This is all the people that's not locked in ahead of this. So obviously Parker Retzloff, and the 12th is. It says I'm sorry. I put a 0 behind the 10 and the. It's only +1, not +10. I'm sorry.
Oh, I did
Yeah.
not realize O'Reilly only has one more race
Yeah.
before the chase.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Oh,
3.
Parker's in, baby. He just, as long as he doesn't wreck on like lap
Yeah.
1, like
Yeah.
everybody, like he would have to have so much go wrong. Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. He's pretty much locked in. Uh, so it's between Joe Gibbs Racing and Raja, really, for these last couple spots, because I think Sam probably makes it as long as he just finishes. Um, William Sawalich, Brent Cruz, and Taylor Gray all within a point. Um, that's so cool. That's like that's wild. Actually, that's pretty wild. And then Raja, I think if he just doesn't crash, I think he's gonna get enough stage points that actually he might jump over these guys. He just needs to do that. Here's the full standings for the cup guys. Um, Obviously, you got Denny Hamlin, new second place guy Ty Gibbs, Ryan Blaney, Tyler Reddick down to fourth, Chase Briscoe, Christopher Bell moves up as well. So Toyota's 5 out of the top 6. Ryan Blaney the Ford.
Hey, my prediction's looking pretty good right now.
Yeah, I bet so. Chase dropped down a spot. Carson Hocevar dropped 3. Chris
Stinky.
Busher, I think, stabilized. Larson dropped 3 as well, or 2. I can't remember if he was 8. Yeah, he was 8th. Sorry, he dropped 2. William Byron, I think he actually gained a position in Suarez, if I'm not mistaken.
I think he did.
Yeah, and then Suarez, Logano, Bubba, SVG, Cindric, and then the cut line kind of got separated a little bit last week, but it's starting to close back in after SVG and Cindric had a really bad race. Priest didn't have a better race. I thought he was going to have a way better race than he did. But yeah, Ross Chastain moved up a lot.
It goes back to last week. Imagine if that penalty wasn't there, we'd be talking about 4 points to the cut line.
Yeah, that's wild. That's insane. My prediction. So, do y'all remember my prediction? Right.
No.
So I said.
Which one?
Well, both of them.
You said that no Toyota was going to win in any series.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do remember that.
That's not looking good right there, dude. Would be 100%
I
honest.
know,
It's not
I know.
looking good at all.
But I also said that no champion will be out of the top 3 in their seed. Right. I just want you to know who my championship pick is.
Well, I think we picked up on that, but if Tyler Reddick somehow gets third again, you're cooked, man.
I
You
know.
can't go 2 for 2.
I'm gonna be so pissed,
dude. You parlayed your picks.
I know. I did.
You say no one out of the top 3, like, so the top 3 seeds will win the championship in each one?
Yeah.
Or just this one?
All 3.
All 3, okay.
Yeah.
If that's the case, I know my pick for yours.
Okay.
I think everybody does, man.
Yeah.
It ain't the leader though.
Well, that's all the points there. We can move on to some news. I don't really have the ratings. I didn't pull that, but I just want to talk over the schedule. I'll give you all the dates that are confirmed for the 2027 schedule.
It has been very interesting.
So I'll go over the ones that aren't as big, and then we'll talk about the ones together that I think are bigger. Of course, the Daytona 500 was February 21st. Atlanta obviously is second, and then the third race. Wait, yeah, this would be the third race. Is Coda, and then Phoenix, Vegas, Bristol, Dega. This is not all in order. After this, I was just listing off what's been confirmed. Texas, and then Charlotte. I guess that is the 600 for May 30th, I'm assuming. Iowa gets the July 4th date. Atlanta goes to July 18th. Bristol moves out of the chase into the August date.
I do like that.
Daytona no longer is the season finale. It is now going to be the Southern 500 season finale. I'm sorry. Regular season finale is now the Southern 500. And then New Hampshire goes into the chase, and so does Watkins Glen.
I want to comment on the regular season finale. Because first, we had it, when the playoffs were around, of course, and they decided to make that the throwback race. And then time went on, they took that away. They made it the first Darlington race, which was good. I think that was really good for the case of making the first Darlington race actually mean something for history. I think that was good, in my opinion. But because Darlington, the second race still had something meaningful because it was in the playoffs at that time. But now, it's in the chase now at the first race. But now, yes, it is a regular season finale, but Darlington just doesn't seem like it has that prestige anymore because it doesn't like start off the chase. I feel like that's so weird.
Yeah, I don't agree with NASCAR's decision to make that the regular season finale. I think that race belongs in the chase. It's like a tone setter. Like it's one of the toughest tracks you go to all year, and that's
Exactly.
where you start the chase. I think that's where it belongs. Um, and I like the excitement of like anything can happen at Daytona being the finale. Um, Obviously it's not a win and you're in anymore, but anybody can have a huge points day and anybody can have a horrible points day at Daytona.
Yeah.
So it just kind of adds that intrigue and excitement. I don't necessarily agree or understand bringing Darlington as the finale. Although I mean, a couple years ago, when was it Briscoe locked himself in? Yeah, Briscoe locked himself in his last season at SHR.
Yep.
Um, I was there for that race. That was pretty exciting, but I don't know. I
But
don't
like
like it.
realistic. Well, I mean, if it was ending at Darlington, he wouldn't have made he wouldn't have made the playoffs. But like, if the same points thing was there, like he was in the playoffs at that time, and he would have won that race and lock himself into the next round. Like you see how much like it's just like it's cool to see like someone lock themselves in, especially with a team that's not, a team that's dying after that year. Uh, but I mean, I'm
I
sure they'll make it back at some point. But
I would like so we talked about you know the crown jewels, right? Like we talked about like what I thought about the points and things like that. I think this being in the regular season gives us a big opportunity though. So now all the crown jewels are in the regular season. Okay, I think if what they could do is genuinely reward more points for the crown jewels, right? Like I think that that would be a huge thing because I think if you did it in the chase, I think the sample size is too small
Yeah,
to do that. I'm not saying it's perfect for their last race before the playoffs or the chase, but they had to just based because it's the uh, that's where Labor Day weekend is. That's where they had to place it. It wasn't even it wasn't their goal. If
yeah,
if the NFL doesn't push back their Super Bowl date like that they're doing this year, I think I genuinely think that it would have been the first race of the chase, but because the NFL we had to push back our start date for the 500, and and if you don't know this, the NFL is trying to go for an extra week or extra great game eventually, right? Um, I could see us not starting till March. Um, soon. Like actually, like if the NFL wins that, which they will, because it's the NFL. But I could see the Daytona 500 being the first week of March, which sounds really weird. Uh, but that's because you're gonna have to have off weeks for for the NFL. There's gonna be another off week because there's gonna add more games because of that. So I think we would get pushed back even further because you would not want the 500 to be contending with the NFL. Like I know this is a big picture, but this is what I can see in the next 5 years.
I think you should just do it on the same day, man. Just we start at 1 o'clock,
Well,
and
now I don't think that that's a bad idea, but I think the attendance would be lower for the 500. Not viewership, but I think the attendance would be lower. Um, only because
yeah, you wouldn't get big name celebrities out there for that.
correct. I think
Yeah,
so I would personally I think that would be a huge day for sports. I honestly would think that would be the third highest day in America, like according to like merchandise and all these things, according to Fourth of July and Christmas, just based off of like that's the most two American sports in the same day doing their prestigious events. Um,
now I think
ooh,
like it would be different for a case of like if like somehow the Super Bowl was in Florida as well.
about to say, make it mandatory that Super Bowl's in Florida, dude. We can just fly him out from the airport right behind the track, and go on to like Miami or wherever you need to go.
Be
well,
quick,
like
yeah, quick transport.
You know, what would be a really cool thing though, is if if the NFL made a Super Bowl stadium, like actually.
Dude, just fill in the pond at Daytona and we'll
I
just build it there.
Dude, yes.
it's like
It'd be like the Hard
The
Rock
Spiders
Stadium
would
for
love
F1.
that, dude.
well, they would actually sit more fans because the attendance is higher at the 500, like according to NFL Stadium. Just think about that. Like I'm just saying. Well, anyways, the Clash goes back to Daytona. We could.
Fill in the pond.
uh, I kind of list off one. July 4th goes to Iowa. We will probably not see Chicagoland back. It'll probably be Chicago Street Course.
It's a very tough situation, like for them, because like Chicagoland, obviously they're not going to do both in one year
Yeah.
because that just like doesn't make sense
Yeah.
for, money wise. But like it's so hard for like the middle of the summer to shut down roads for a NASCAR race, which is tough for them to do that. Like the amount of money they have to spend to do that is tough. But also, you know, I don't know about the. Do we know why? Like, there's been things about like them not going to
Yeah.
Chicagoland.
So the number one thing is because the government of Illinois wants to have a Chicago street race again because it gives that race. Yes, NASCAR spends a lot of money to make it, but the city of Chicago gains a lot of revenue because of it. So the honestly, it's a very positive thing that you know those senators, mayors, or whoever's involved in that, um, they want us there. I think that's a really good thing. But I think that this is a huge benefit. The fact that we have two racetracks that we can go to in Chicago and we can kind of rotate. I want to be at the Oval every week, every year, but I think this is a bigger picture that we can talk about later. Is is maybe like let's start going to different cities that already have a. Okay, I'm not. Let's use Vegas as an example. Okay, we go to two Vegas oval races. Why do that? We could go to one and then go to make a Vegas street race, right? Like I think that there's
Use a
but
different layout than the F1 layout because someone
I,
would die. Ryan
I,
Priest might go flying.
that's fine, but like, but to my point that is we don't have to. I think that we can compromise Chicagoland and the Chicago Street Course by doing stuff like that. Because for one, you're eliminating a mile and a half to gain a road course. I don't know if that's the positive move to do, just based off of what the car performs like on a mile and a half versus road courses. But I will say, I think it would be great for the sport if they moved a street race into a different city every year. Um, but Chicago can be the every other year type because they know what to do, if that makes sense. So if they can make a deal like that, I think that would work.
I wouldn't want to see Chicagoland every year unless they got rid of the underbody.
Yeah, Clash of Daytona. Any thoughts? I know we kind of talked about this
Yeah, we talked about it yesterday. It
last
wasn't
week.
like fully announced, but
Yeah,
it
but it
was.
fully was announced literally
Yeah,
after our podcast. It
it
was
was literally
announced.
the day after they
Yeah,
announced
yeah.
it.
But your
I mean, I'm
approval?
all for it as long as it's not fuel saving. Like as long as
Yeah,
they can. Well, honestly, like as long as they fix the car, if it's gonna be where they're pushing the whole time, but neither line's moving, I'd almost rather see fuel saving because at least you can move throughout the field at that point. So I don't know. I hope NASCAR just takes a huge swing for the Clash to try something out to see if it can work. And if they miss, they miss, but at least they tried something, you know?
Well, I so you know how they were supposed to do preseason Thunder, right, at Daytona? They're not doing that no more. That's probably not going to happen in January. Um, so I'm afraid that they're using this clash as a test session instead of actually having a test session in January. Okay, which is not a good idea, because if you want the healthiness of the clash to stay, I think it needs to be a Daytona. But I also don't think it needs to be 40 cars. Like, that's stupid, right? Like, it needs to go back to just pole winners. I know that sponsors and charters and all those things have changed why we don't limit the field anymore because of how everyone gets upset. Well, do better, okay? I hate to be that guy, but we give out participation trophies for the guy in 16th in points to have a chance for a championship, and they're not going to win it, okay? We can eliminate pole winners, okay? Let's be for real. I'm being pretty aggressive about it. I just think NASCAR is so involved with understanding what to do next that they just don't do it because. Okay, hold on one second. Y'all can continue talking.
Well, I mean, I'll kind of just carry on with what you're saying. Like, I agree. I think NASCAR should go to like go back to not including everybody. I think it's easy to just include everybody because it makes the sponsors happy. And it also kind of opens up the TV window a little bit where it's going to be a longer session just because, I mean, well, for lately, they've had to do the heat races and then the LCQ, which I'm assuming you won't have that at Daytona. I'm hoping you don't have that at Daytona.
That would
Um,
suck, dude.
oh my God. I'm praying that we don't have that. But yeah, I mean, it does suck, but at the end of the day, I mean, it should be what was it? It was pole winners and
Pole
champions
winners. I think it was past Clash winners. I think.
or past
Y-
clash winners.
Yeah, pole winners
And
and
then
past Clash.
the all-star races, race winners and champions.
Yeah.
That's what okay. I mean, yeah, so I mean I'm saying this, Chase Elliott wouldn't even be in it. So it is what it is. That would suck. Uh but like like Dylan said, do better. It's nothing else to it at that point.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's just I don't want to see like like I would like to see 40 cars have a chance. Like, like you split up the two groups, right? Like with the format that I said with the two groups of 20 and then, the top 10 from each group and then you go to 20 for the end. For like the last little race that they want to do. Um and like I feel like that's fair. Like everyone has a shot to be in the top 20 for that point. Um and to the top 10 for their races, of course. But I think that's a fair like way to do it because sponsors are still happy. Their cars are still out on the track, of course. But I mean, realistically, pole winners and class winners should be the main thing because it's just what it always was. But yeah, like I mean, for the sponsorship wise, I think the two groups of 20 and them in the last race of the top 20 from both. Top 10 from both. I think that's probably the best thing to do, but I mean, who knows what they're going to try to do. I just don't want to see 40 cars race for $1 million and half them get wrecked like we seen in 2020. That wasn't even half. That was I don't even know how much that was. Not
What was
even
weren't there like 8 cars running at the
yeah, something like that, dude. It was so stupid. They just kept wrecking over and over again. And then that big restart wreck, I think someone had like a misfire and they didn't go. And they just started crashing into each other. I was like, dude, what is going on?
Felt like I saw Chase Elliott spin like 4 times in that race.
Dude, you know who spun so many times but he got like no damage is Kyle Larson. That man was spinning like crazy and got no like damage that was affecting him until the end when Chase Elliott wrecked out. So
We've seen him spin a lot this year too, but he's kind of
I'm just not
damaged.
seeing him run in the top 20.
Mm. Well, that's all the confirmed dates for the 2027 schedule. I'm sure we're going to see some more next week. Actually, by then we'll probably have the whole schedule. Actually, just based off of how many's got released already. Um, the only other news that I had was about NASCAR 26. I wanted to talk about just the game itself. We did a Q&A. Matt Lewis and Jeff Fabiano did a Q&A in a Discord. I It did not go as well as I think that the fans hoped. But my exact response to that is that's why you don't do a Q&A. You need to release because in the Q&A you answer no,
It
okay, a lot.
is
I
Radman in this voice chat?
I was just about to say this. I was just about to say Rabin had a good point. Like Q&A, you answer a lot of no questions instead of answering what actually is in the game. And I really liked his point on that. I'm glad you said his name because I was
Yeah.
about to give him credit. Um, that wasn't my thought, but I I really like that. How did y'all actually listen to it or watch it or anything?
Yeah, I mean, I watched it and listened to it. I mean, I thought like it obviously isn't, with the point of Rabbit Main, it's not the best thing to do for like a NASCAR game itself because you're not like what he said, you're not really telling us what's in the game. You're just answering yes and no questions. Um, more of no questions because they go through and find questions, of course, and they're just gonna be like no, or they'll find questions that have been asked like they did multiple times, which made me very mad in the moment where people were asking questions that were already answered previously before the Q&A. We were not happy when those questions were being asked, but I mean, I don't know what else they can do. I mean, realistically, just don't do a Q&A, but like, how else are you gonna, have that experience of telling people like what's in the game? Obviously, you can release stuff over time goes on. Like, I mean, I feel like the dev diaries would do a pretty good job of that. Um, the first dev diary, they said a lot. Of course, they mentioned the dynamic tracks or whatever and everything. And just, I mean, I feel like they can continue with that if they want to use like a dev diary for each year and do like maybe like 3 or 4. You don't have to do like 5 like they did the first time, or it might have been 6. I don't know what they did. Um, but like they can use like 3 or 4 and kind of just get like the main important stuff that's been added to the game. Which I think I wanted spectator mode, but I truly didn't expect it in this game because like the replay mode itself was absolute dog water. So like that wouldn't make sense to have horrible replay cameras and then add it to this game. But they did say they worked on the replay cameras and everything. So I do he did say that is like his top priority for multiplayer. So I expect it on 27 for sure. But I think that's my main thing for multiplayer as well.
I mean, my takeaway from the dev diary and the Q&A for the new game is I think realistically, as like NASCAR fans and like gamers ourselves, we kind of need to like reel in our expectations. I feel like it's year two, and we expect this like great finished product, which is just not realistic. Um, but at the same time, I feel like there was a couple things that NASCAR or iRacing could have done for this game to kind of, you know, give the fans what they wanted. And I don't know, me personally, like I don't care about burnouts after a race. Like it's cool, but like the fact that that was like the number one requested thing, it's just kind of weird to me. Like if you want to go do a burnout, just go into a practice mode and turn the AI off and go burn it down after you won the race. Like I don't think that needed to be like a main focus for the next game. Um, I am excited about the dynamic racing line. I'm hoping that is something that comes into effect online. I don't know if they've answered. Did they answer if it's going to be online or?
They're not answering it.
So I'm hoping it is
They did
because
say it's 13% and above. If you didn't know that,
So that's a
yeah, I saw that.
that's a good sign to possibly
I
a good thing.
yes, that's so. If it was only 50% and above, like or 25, I don't think that they would have added it to online. I think it's going to be like a toggle thing actually. Um,
Yeah.
if it is online, it'll be toggled. But yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just really hoping that that is the thing online because, as we know, league racing at times in this game can be extremely frustrating when it just becomes a ride the wall train at some of these tracks. So hopefully that is something. But I don't know. I just feel like a lot of fans just expected a lot for year two. Spectator mode was kind of a disappointment for me just because of like the league that we're all in together. How like what we've done with spectator mode in the past in that league, how we've kind of been able to use that to broadcast races. Um, but I don't know. It's not the end of the world for me. I'm excited to see. I don't. I've seen a lot of people say it's just a copy and paste product with new skins, pretty much. I don't think that's the case. I think there were some changes that were made. I'm excited to see how it plays out. And then I think for me, I think NASCAR 27 is where my expectations are going to be like, all right,
Yep.
now you have to do it because originally it wasn't even there wasn't even supposed to be a game this year. Was I thought they were just going to do.
They were
Yes. So
they were going back and forth with it if they wanted to skip this year and then just work on 27 or whatever they wanted to call it.
so theoretically, 26 was they started 26 like 3 months before 25 got released. Okay, so a lot of the things that's why there wasn't a huge difference in between the two games. Now 27 isn't gonna. They did not start that until after this gets released, so they can know exactly what the players want. So that's the difference of why people were like, "Well, this should have just been a DLC." Well, yes and no, but they fixed a lot of the physics. If you don't know
I know one person you're talking about
what
that said it should have been a DLC.
who,
I have to tell you after,
yeah,
but
okay,
I assume off of like what you said, I think you would
yeah,
think
probably,
it's probably the
uh,
person.
yeah. I don't necessarily agree with that because they fixed one of the things that I'm excited for is the new tire model that they put in for the physics. I'm excited to see it. Hopefully, it's not, hey, just run 15s, right? Like that's just stupid. That doesn't make sense. It's not real NASCAR. I can tell you that. It's also not how you set up a vehicle in any other game. But
I know I know when we were talking about it I guess it was the night or the night after it was released or whatever,
yeah,
and we were talking about like the new tire model, and I said I can't wait for someone to lock up the brakes into me into turn one at Coda and just absolutely destroy me.
yeah. Well, so do you know what the new tire model like kind of does? You kind of explained a little bit. Do you know about it, Hunter?
I didn't see the new. I mean, I heard about it, but I didn't get like the in depth. Um, I
Well,
heard it's a lot easiher to lock up the
Yep.
brakes now.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's gonna be more realistic. So in a sense of
Crap, I'm cooked.
well, so I wouldn't say you're cooked, but I would say it's gonna be a lot like you can't just jam on the brakes, okay? And I'm not saying that you do that naturally already, but like you're not gonna be able to go from one point to braking, right? You're gonna actually have to let off the gas and then start braking or so on and so forth. Like there's gonna be a lot of different. It's gonna be different. I can tell you for a controller player, I think you're gonna be at a disadvantage with this versus a wheel. Actually think that there's gonna be more of an advantage, which is the opposite than any other game because in braking, the controller's at the disadvantage. So I don't know how that's gonna be, but that's my only points that I wanted to make on the new game. No other news really, other than the stages. I wanted to hit on that. We didn't get to see it at Iowa, but if a caution comes out at a certain point before the stage ends, every track was going to have the road courses are unknown yet, but most likely it's 10 laps to go in every track. They did say some may vary just based off the length of the track, but with 10 to go, if a caution comes out, that'll actually end the stage, and then they'll finish. They'll add on those laps to the next stage. Did you see Dudboy's thing in the Discord,
I wish I didn't because I lost
bro?
brain cells reading it.
I didn't read it until today. He said, "I hope they don't do this in stage 3." What dumbass thought that was going to be in stage 3? Like, no
Done
offense,
boy.
I like I was just like, we would just say no green white checkers. And if they were going to do that, they would have just been like, "Hey, we're not doing green white checkers." But anyways, that's beside the point. Any thoughts about that? I mean, I know we kind of gave our own thoughts in the
I like it.
text thread. Yeah.
I really like it. I think you and I kind of talked about it at first. I had my concerns about people potentially really short pitting and just kind of going for it, hoping there's a late caution. And I was concerned that the overcut wasn't going to be as beneficial because people would be kind of worried that they wouldn't get back into the top 10 in time at some of these tracks. Um, but I think just for the sport in general, especially with what we've dealt with the last couple weeks, it's good. You cannot have basically like I think it was what at Indy it was 3 green flag laps in a span of 30 minutes. Like you cannot have that. You're gonna lose the attention of the younger fans, and that's who we're trying to get. So I think this was a smart move by NASCAR. It'll be interesting to see once it does like finally happen how it plays out and like how it alters the strategy for some of the teams. But I like the move. I was hesitant at first, but the more I thought about it, the more I kind of broke it down. I'm a fan of it.
Any thoughts from you?
Um, I mean, I yeah, I mean, I agree. I think it's definitely a good thing. It's definitely a huge step in the right direction. I don't. I'm like very. I'll say that part in a second, actually. But like what they're doing now with like the 10 to go, right? Obviously, they said road courses are still unknown, of course, but I think it's a good thing. Where we have more green flag racing. And I think I don't know if I mentioned it last week or what. No, it wasn't talked. It wasn't mentioned last week before our podcast, but um, I think, in my opinion, I was like this. It adds more like strategizing, and like keeps crew chiefs on their toes for the next stage. Because like for example, if stage 1 or 2 ends early because of that caution, I don't. Did they say they're gonna add more laps to the next stage? Correct. They're gonna add those laps into the
Yeah.
next
So
stage.
theoretically, well, if it's a 350 lap race, it's going to be 350 laps. So
Yeah,
whatever stage that don't or whatever laps that don't get um,
complete
used,
under like
yeah,
yeah,
it'll
they
just
just
start
added
that
that.
stage. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's a good thing because, I'm sure teams have that strategized for what they want to do going into the race weekend and when they want to pit. But if that's the case that happens, it changes strategies up because do you want to pit early or do you want to pit late for that stage? So I think that's a good thing. But yeah, I'm 50-50 on people wanting them to remove stages. Um, I get why because I mean I've seen this obviously. There was a post that someone sent like a Carl Edwards video about like if you have like a caution in the middle of the race, you're making the first part of the race don't even mean anything because realistically, and the second half of the race is what means something because you want to be in position to actually have good runs in the second half. But with stages, obviously they added it with points, so you still want to get some points, but it's more of like, but wins really matter because of it's 75 points, correct? For a win? Yeah, so like they really want that matters a lot. So people just try to
No, it's 55 for a win.
55. Yeah.
You can
75
get
for total.
Seven.
75,
Okay. 75
76
for
if you get
76.
the
Yeah.
fastest lap.
okay. 75 for max without fastest lap. That's what it was. Um, but realistically, people just set up stage 1 and 2 to be set up for the last stage. Like some people don't. There's some drivers that aren't like that kind of run like around 15th ish. I would say that they know they're not going to get stage points, so they're just trying to set up for the next stage to see if they can do that. And if that doesn't work, they're not even focused on the rest of the stage. They just move on to the next one and hope that's what works for them. And I feel like they just try to go for that more instead of what happens now. Um, so I like seeing the stages as in for example of drivers having a caution, and seeing the field being re-racked so everyone has a chance again. and it's not just this whole long race. And like at some points it'll get boring, but there's no excitement to it unless there's like an actual car that spins. And which a little more recently it's been we only get it on the first lap usually. But
Just give it a couple. Kyle Larson will give us another one.
around like lap 80, he'll be spinning out, but self spin or getting wrecked. But I don't know. I mean, I'm 50-50 on it, like I said. I mean, if anything, I think I'd lean more towards having the stages still.
Awesome. What was I saying? Oh, you. So we don't know this the for next season about the road courses. You know that's going to change a lot of the strategy at pitting before the stage because
Mm.
I think it's going to be the plan. But just imagine the people that pit like with 11 to go to the stage, or whatever the time is, and a caution does come out, and all the people that just like dominate the races in the back, bro. That's gonna
I think they're gonna have to change it for road courses and make it like 5 to go. Like
yeah
I don't think there's any way
yeah
they can.
yeah. I don't think it'll be 10 to go because most of the stages is like 25 anyways. It's
Yeah.
like but my example though is like the people that pit before the what if a caution comes out and a caution does come out,
Yeah, I think you're gonna see the
bro,
leader pit. I think you're gonna see the leader pit more
earlier.
than like coming to 2 to go.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
I think he's gonna have to
yeah.
because it's just too big of a risk. Especially with I mean, I feel like you see it a lot at road courses, with especially with the cars being on the other side on is it two of them now with Watkins Glen and Coronado. And if we go back to the street course of Chicago, they'll be on the coming the other way as well. So I feel like you see a lot of loose tires in those situations. Um, and I mean, if Noah Gregson's in the race at Chicago, there could be a caution any lap. So you really can't risk it too much.
For sure. All right, Hunter. You can go ahead and go on with your segment of in the draft questions. What do you got for us?
All right, first question. So you got Alex Bowman, who had vertigo. You got William Byron, who is still winless. Kyle Larson is on a huge winless streak. Chase Elliott has 9 straight races without a top 10. Is this the worst season you've seen from HMS that you can remember?
Yeah, that's really different. Holy crap, we don't have everybody in here. Oh goodness. I mean, I feel like 2018 was not good either. Uh, all the 2020s are not like an issue in my opinion. I don't think any of the 2020s they had really n neither of them had super bad seasons. Obviously, there's people that didn't win, but um, I would say it's definitely between this year and 2018. Um, but I mean, I'd say this year because 2018 you still had someone actually like running up front like constantly, like which was Chase Elliott. You know, he wasn't winning, but he was constantly in the top five, top 10, top five, top 10. So I would say this year is probably the worst that I've seen personally.
Yeah, it's definitely this year. In 2018, I think at this point, I mean, obviously Chase hasn't won up until this probably would have been the through Watkins Glen race comparable last week. So that'd have been the first Hendrick win that year. Um, and there's only two. So, um, and there's only two so far. So, um, right? Or was there three?
Yeah, I know he had three. I don't know
Yep,
about four, but
he had three.
it was definitely Kansas,
Yeah,
Dover, and Watkins Glen.
yeah, he had three in total. But that was the only Hendrick wins
Yeah, it was only
that
him. Yeah.
season. And I feel like it's going to be similar to that this season. I don't really see Larson um, pulling out a win. I don't see Byron doing anything other than finishing ninth. And then Bowman, he might surprise me. But I
If
actually,
anything, if anything, Larson wins the last race.
yeah, I mean, I really don't see anything going to be spectacular. So I think this is definitely the worst season, just based off of. I mean, they already broke a record that they've done where none of the cars have finished in the top 10 3 races in a row. Uh, Besides this race, Byron, finally finished in the top 10 uh, since 1983 or something like that, 84 or something like that. It was wild.
Yeah, this has been rough. Like I know Chase Elliott has 2 wins, but it seems so forgettable after the stretch that we've gone through the last 9 weeks. At no point in his career has he gone 9 straight races without a top 10 until now. Um, and that's just it's absolutely crazy. I mean, Chase hasn't been competitive lately. I don't want to say he hasn't been competitive. He was fast at Michigan. Um, and then that stupid Toyota got on his door. And but yeah, Chase hasn't been fast. Larson can't figure out how to finish a race. Um, Alex Bowman can't see straight. And William Byron has just been the definition of mid this year, which was honestly, like I know Kyle Larson's win streak is kind of shocking to a lot of people, but William Byron's just midness is the biggest shock to me this season. Like I genuinely can't think of a race where I was like, man, William Byron might win this. I don't know if it's happened this year, which I feel like we're not used to anymore. So yeah, for me, this has been the worst HMS season that I can remember. Um, it's tough. It's tough.
I'm glad I'm not an HMS fan.
Whatever, dude. And
JGR on
then
top.
shut up. I'm stealing this question from DBC from I think it was last week. What's your Mount Rushmore of racetracks that we should go to twice? So Cody, I don't know if you know this, but it's Mount Rushmore is 4, so it's 4 tracks that we should go to twice.
Why am I getting targeted?
Yeah, because he started glazing Toyotas and just pissed me off, so I lashed out.
Well, tell your driver to do better. I don't know
All
what to
right,
tell
go
you.
ahead.
All right, 7.
Dude, all right. Dude, it's such a tough question, dude. I really think I can't. Hold on, let me pull up the schedule.
I go
Are we
ahead.
saying okay, are we saying tracks that like aren't 2 races or
No, just
tracks
the 4 tracks that you think we should go to twice, no matter what.
okay. So yeah, you can go ahead, dude.
Daytona, Talladega, Atlanta, and Bristol.
Oh, oh, you want me to go, Cody?
Yeah, go ahead.
So we have three of the 4, correct? Daytona, Talladega, Atlanta, or Echo Park. Sorry, Echo Park, Darlington. I I'm not just saying this because I live down here now. Like I could stay home and watch the race. Like I don't have to go. I love Darlington, man. Like I absolutely love Darlington. I love the tire fall off. I love the strategy. I think Darlington, in my opinion, is the best races of the season. Um, just because there's just so much potential for just chaos, and I love it.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
I almost said Charlotte instead of Bristol, but I just my love for Bristol is just insane.
I think though like the first 3 tracks that like you two said are I think gonna be very common for like anyone you ask this question to because like those tracks like mean a lot to like for excitement for races. Um and of course they're all super speedways. So that's kind of funny. But I definitely agree with Daytona, Talladega, um, Atlanta slash Echo Park. Um, this is, you know what? Give me Nashville.
Why? I want to hear why. I'm just curious.
Nothing for prestige wise, but it's more of the racing product.
Really,
I really enjoy that. I mean, obviously that year was
I
Logano.
I enjoy Nashville because I go every year, but I wouldn't consider that. I mean, I continue. I guess your point there.
Yeah, like I think it's just like how much I enjoy the race. But like I think I definitely understand where you mean. It's not like one of those big marquee tracks is that, you want to put for the Mount Rushmore. So if we want to do that, then I would definitely say probably Charlotte for that case. But like I would want to see Nashville twice.
Interesting.
Yeah, you lost me, dude. You really did.
I don't know why,
Yeah,
dude.
I.
Oh, it's because Toyotas were 3 wide on the last lap. Let's go to Nashville again, dude.
No, I was
Man.
gonna say that like even like the race where they had a stinker at the end where there was like 4 overtime cautions. Before that, I mean the race was actually pretty decent, but I just like enjoy the racing product every time I watch it.
Bro, you know what we should do? We should go to the Glen twice. Run it one way, the right
Yeah,
way, and then run it backwards.
Or
or
run
do
with the boot.
yeah the boot.
I think it'd be fun.
All right. My third question. It's kind of a fun one. All right. We're just going to take Denny Hamlin because he is the points leader as an example. If we put Cody Ware, if we swapped Cody Ware and Denny Hamlin, like they switched cars, who finishes higher in the points?
Uh, or the we saying this year?
This year, who finishes higher in the points if Denny Hamlin's driving the 51 and Cody Ware's driving the 11?
I feel like there's an argument for both because the 11 car itself is just that good, but also Hamlin is just that good as well. So I don't know. No, for the memes, give me Cody Ware.
Uh, okay. Uh, I'm gonna say Denny Hamlin, but I think it's closer than we
No,
think.
very, very close.
Only because, so I do think that the 11 will be. Okay, this is gonna be hard for me to sell, but what I will say is I think Denny in the 51 would actually he would survive more races. Um,
Mm.
and I think Cody Ware in that type of vehicle would overdrive the car because he knows that it's better. Um, and so I think he would wreck a lot. That's my take.
I was actually going to go with something similar because I think Cody Ware would finish higher in points in the 11, but I think you would see a lot of moments like we talked about a couple weeks ago with Raja when he gets in the 88, how he kind of just overdrives
Yeah,
it because he knows how good the car is. I think you would see that a couple times with Cody Ware. Um, but honestly, like I think if you put Denny Hamlin, and I can't believe I'm saying if you put Denny Hamlin in the 51, I think the 51 is probably like 23rd in the chase standings right now. One, because I think he's going to give feedback that Cody Ware can't. I think even at that point, Rick Ware Racing can make that car better. Actually, you know what? Let me take that completely back. It'd be in the playoffs. If Justin Haley could have the runs that he had in a Rick Ware car a couple of
that's
years
a.
ago, you're telling me Denny Hamlin couldn't do something similar? Denny Hamlin would probably make the playoffs in that car
That,
or the
that's
chase.
that
I
is
think realistically, like bringing up Justin Haley, like I'm
yeah.
definitely like switching to Hamlin, but I did go for Ware for the memes because it was funny. But that's also like a weird question because like, but it's crazy to think about like because like Hamlin's super good, but the 11 car is also super
Super
good.
good. Yeah.
So
Yeah, I think I pick Hamlin over the in the 51 over Ware in the 11 based off of just I think Ware would just wreck all the time.
That's all I got.
That's awesome. Thank you for that. Next week, if everyone's here, we're gonna do a new segment called Guess That Race. It's a segment where I ask you guys questions, and whoever's the first to answer gets to guess what race it was.
Just feels like a DA freaking domination.
It's gonna be
Guess
really
the
cool.
race, like the exact race, or the winner as well.
The very last question will say the winner.
Okay.
So it's going to go similar after the NASCAR Weekly podcast. They do a guess that random driver or whatever, and so, but this is just a little tweak to that because we do this actually often in a lot of our party chats. We'll say, or we'll be like, we're watching this race. What race is it? You know, but there's no facts to it. There's gonna be a lot of questions with facts to go about the race. Like maybe as like this, it had 34 lead changes. It had this many green flag passes. Like it'll just gradually get to closer to.
So you're just gonna ask questions. You're not gonna show like any of the race or anything.
No, we would flag or.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
If you tell me a single digit green flag passes, I'm guessing Indy.
That's actually really fair.
I'm just gonna go through every year.
Do you know what?
Since 2013.
Since y'all are here, I might put Indy as the first one. No, I'm excited for it. I think it'd be a fun time. It's just something that we can add to kind of get some more colorful commentary behind our podcast. I think it'd be a good idea. So, anyways, we can move on to our picks. Gotta show the points.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, this is something.
Don't
RIP
worry.
that points lead.
Don't worry though. I changed the I changed the background. It's corn. It's a cornfield.
Big lump with knobs.
It has the juice.
Okay. Well, anyways, I kind of updated where like our logo's kind of faded in the background. I think it looks pretty cool. But anyways, here's our points. DA is our new points leader. We got a tie for second. DJ, and then Hunter is in third. He dropped 2 positions. Cody.
Do we?
Go ahead.
No, sorry. No, that you're more important than what I was gonna say.
Okay. Cody is only minus 3 back. Anything that's in yellow means that it's more than a week end away from being a points leader. So I decided to add that. So anybody that's less than a weekend away can take the points lead. Will be in white.
Savar.
Yeah. Hey, listen though. You've kept the points lead for a lot this year. So, and we're about to head into the chase where everyone's gonna get.
Dude, the chase is gonna be wild, dude.
The board reset is gonna be nice.
I will have to. Yeah, I have to reset the board. I gotta figure out how to do that.
Well, I'm sure DA will probably go over it. Me and DA usually kind of go over the making the red. But do we have everyone's pick that we know of? I have Damon's.
You have okay, so yeah, I have everyone but DJ. Because that brother.
Damn it! Everybody ahead of me is freaking here, so I'm not even gonna jump up a spot.
Well, so we have the truck race. I didn't even tell where we're going. Anyways, I'm sorry. I'm a little thrown off by whatever I did. I don't know why I did that. Richmond weekend, Friday, August 14th on FS1, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's going to be 250 laps. That's pretty long for a truck race. 187.5 miles. Shane Gisbergen is in. That was close, dude. That was real close. I don't know what I was about to say, but it was about to be.
You sounded like, oh my, what's her, Jamie Little trying to say, Lane Van Rigsbergen.
But DCD goes with Corey Heim is his pick for the truck race.
Hmm.
Who did Damon
Didn't know he
have?
was racing.
I didn't either.
Damon went with Riggs.
God, I hate you guys.
It's a strong word.
Yeah. Who do I even go with? I'm gonna go Christopher Bell.
I can't say what I want to say.
Christopher David Bale.
Hilarious, dude. You're so funny. You know what? It's a short track. He had some really good speed at North Wilkesboro. Give me SVG Shane Van Gisselbergen, whatever you said.
Gizaburger.
Give me the hottest paint scheme there this weekend, man. Give me Granite Finger.
I almost did it.
Yeah, you would have gotten blocked on MySpace.
The truck, we don't have DJs, so DA's got a pick. He's going with Step Bro.
Great pick. Great pick.
Great pick.
Very good pick.
And now we move on to the Cup race. There's no O'Reilly this week. It is the Cookout 400, 400 laps, 300 miles. It is on Saturday afternoon at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on USA. By the way, God bless Lee Diffie.
I need to watch DBC. I need to hear the call-ins.
Oh, yeah.
Wait a minute. Who was the guest? I didn't get to listen to it today. Was Lee on there again?
No, he was saying the call-ins. Just like.
Oh.
Yeah.
I got so excited. I thought Lee Diffie was the guest.
Who is going to suck? DCD didn't give me one. I'm sure Damon didn't give you one either, right?
Nope, I just asked for wins.
All right. I'm going to say the 9. I think Chase Elliott sucks this week.
Let me find a new one.
Well, I'm going to join you with an HMS driver. I think the Vertigo is going to stink.
I think his downfall continues. I think Tyler Reddick stinks.
Okay, I thought you were about to say Kyle Larson. DA did give me a suck pick. He said Neba Chud. That's pretty good.
Wonder
I
who he
hope
wrecks
so.
this week.
Yeah. Who's gonna have a good run? Well, we miss all those picks. Me, I can't pick him to win. I don't think. Hold on. Yeah, I can't pick him to win. But Austin Dillon's gonna have a really good run.
Well, yeah, I'll choose another one. Great. I'll go with the guy who's been really good at when it comes to like tire tracks. So he might have a good shot at really winning and going back to back. So give me Ty Gibbs for a good run.
That's a really good pick.
I'm going to go a little bit momentum based here. Probably one of the first weekends I can honestly say that he had a pretty decent weekend. Give me Noah Gragson to have a good run.
Wow. That's good.
That's good.
DA got Chris Buescher to have a good run.
He did win there in 2023.
So who is going to win the Cookout 400 DCD? Oh, holy cow.
Oh, no.
Does he have this person? I want to make sure before I say his name. Yes, he does. He said Ty Gibbs. That's a good pick. Who does Damon got?
That goes with what I just said. Let me make sure he gave me 2 just in case. I'll make sure which one he said first. He takes Austin Dillon.
That's a banger of a pick.
Wait, who did he take? My bad. My mic cut out.
Austin Dillon.
Bold pick there.
My pick
You
to
think
win.
his is bold? Just wait.
My pick to win is someone who had a really good run this past week. I know Hunter talked about him, but Ross Chastain is going to win.
Taking a big swing because there's guys that have this guy for the for next week, and I want to see if I can get him for next week. So I'm taking a big swing here, and if I get points from it, that's great. But give me Connor Zillage.
Wow, that's a big.
Well, I want to just go ahead and tell you that I disagree with two of your statements tonight, Cody.
What?
I disagree that Connor Zilch is going to win, and I disagree that Alex Bowman's going to have a bad run because Alex Bowman is going to get Hendrick their third win of the season.
DJ would have been like, and then he woke up.
Dude, imagine Alex Bowman wins before Larson. Oh no! I might have to get added back to the group chat for that.
Honestly, we don't even use it. That's why to type in the Discord. DA picked Josh Berry as his number one pick. Wow.
I actually don't hate that.
I
don't hate that at all.
I thought about it, but I was like, man.
That was my second overall, but I just wanted to go Zillage just because I want to take a big swing.
I already picked Josh Berry. I realized that.
Josh Berry was actually my second pick. If somebody were taking Bowman, I was going Berry.
Well, I wasn't taking Bowman because I got screwed by that one.
Yeah, Nima Chud is a really good pick.
Is he?
For second. Well, that's all we have, folks. Well, that's all, folks.
That's all, folks.
I don't really have much to say to end this.
Oh my god, what do we do? DA's not here.
Yeah, he's not here, dude.
Can we talk about the power that shot has? I don't know if you remember what was on the line last week, but
I don't remember. Was it like someone got injured or something?
No, I'll send a quick text. Or actually, it was 2 weeks ago. It was last week was somebody was going to get injured. 2 weeks ago it was. I'm texting it in the chat.
Okay.
All right, there we go. I just sent it in the chat.
Yeah. We know he missed the shot.
He missed the shot, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, what a last 2 weeks.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I will say, thanks for everybody that tuned in. We had 15 viewers at one point. That's pretty good.
Hey.
Like that. The Jeff Gordon bobbleheads are out. It'd be a cool thing to do. What the hell's going on?
My camera quality is really bad, so we should probably hurry this up.
Yeah, I noticed that as well. But
yeah, did the lights go off in your house or something?
I just had the blinds open. I didn't have the light on.
Yeah,
I was about to say.
Yeah, same
it looks like night vision in a movie. Like I feel like that's what I'm looking at for Cody right now.
Bro's got thermal sight on. Anyways, well, thanks for tuning in. We'll be here next Monday. Don't forget about the new segment. It's going to be a real fun addition to the show. And then hopefully by then we get an intro as well. I'm working with a graphics designer to kind of get us a whole new revamp of our logo and everything. That'd be pretty cool. Maybe some hats if we get a real logo made. So that'd be really nice. Anyways, peace out. See ya.